senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano. So walk me through what's going on here.
I wish I knew on what grounds, but I have to get to the end of the story.
Okay.
The end of the story is that she will be summarily reversed today by the judge by the United States Court of Appeals for the First Circuit. This a federal judge in Boston, without hearing from the government, without giving the government even an opportunity to file documents, entered an order restraining Bobby Kennedy and the Department of Health and Human Services from the cutbacks ordered by Congress, and she didn't give any reasons for it. So she clearly will be reversed by the appellate court. She didn't even state any reasons why she was doing it. It's really a head scratcher. Now, the legislation the president signed on the 4th of July does not mention Planned Parenthood by name.
Okay.
But it does prohibit the Department of Health and Human Services from funding any organizations, even if they provide services to the poor for sexual-related matters, if they also pay for abortions. That is for Congress to decide.
Right.
That is not for a federal judge to decide. Under the Constitution, Congress decides how to spend the money. If Congress orders money spent and the president doesn't want to spend it, there's a role for the judiciary telling the president he's got to spend it. But if Congress says we're not going to spend this money, there is no role for the judiciary to tell Congress they have to spend it anyway.
So then what's this judge doing?
Well, she didn't give a reason. There was no hearing, and I read her order 3 times this morning. It's only a page and a half long. It doesn't give reasons. That's another reason why she'll be reversed.
Okay.
Because federal judges are required to give reasons. Why do they have to give reasons? Because the litigants need to know why the end result was achieved, and the appellate court needs to know how the judge got there so they can decide whether or not to affirm or reverse her. This is a true head-scratcher. I will say this. This is a respected judge whom I know and with whom I've had experience. It's a head-scratcher that she did this. At least give the government the opportunity to be heard, and at least give the reasons why you're doing it. None of that happened.
So it just seems standard now that judges can block anything or attempt to block anything. We're just seeing this every single day, it seems like.
That's a good question, Charlotte, and I'm glad you asked it. If a judge finds that something Congress enacted or something the president wants to do arguably violates a liberty protected by the Constitution, let's say free speech, or let's say due process, the right to a trial before the government wants to take your life, your liberty, or your property. It is the duty of the judges to intercede. But if a judge disagrees on a policy matter or doesn't think Congress should have done this, there is no role for the judiciary. I almost always defend the judiciary, as you know, having been there. But here, there is no role for the judiciary, and as I said, it's a head-scratcher as to why she did this.
Do you feel like the last 6 months since Donald Trump has been in office, that's what we're seeing a lot of? You said the phrase disagrees with a policy matter. Is that what could be happening here?
I think that's what's happening here. In many of the other judicial decisions, most of which made their way to the Supreme Court, the judges were able to find a statute that the president didn't follow or a provision of the Constitution that he chose to ignore. Here, there is nothing pinpointed by this judge as to what Congress did that violated the Constitution. Congress, whether we like it or not, can spend money on anything it wants and can refuse to spend money on anything it wants. That's been the law of the land since the FDR administration and the New Deal era. The courts have no business saying to Congress, you should have spent the money here. I feel sorry for these people. Spend the money here. If you feel sorry for these people, vote for somebody else as your own member of Congress.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Judge, thank you for breaking it down.
I don't think I shed any light on this other than to say that what is this judge doing?
There we go. That's all we needed. What is this judge doing? More on that coming up.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.